good, y'all? This your boy Black G92. Now, for this morning, I'm going to do a reaction to another Critical Drinker video they uploaded recently. Goes by the title of Thor: Love and Thunder, Redemption or Destruction, which is written as a question. So I'm guessing he's going to go in on this new movie that's on the way to theaters, more so coming soon to theaters, sometime in early July, if I'm not mistaken, because I've already seen the trailer and looks cool, you know what I mean? And so I'm interested in seeing how they proceed with this new phase of the MCU universe with this new Thor movie. And of course, as we see him leave off with the Guardians of the Galaxy and of course that rock dude. So, and plus not to mention they introduced the female Thor. So I'm gonna see how they go about executing that, as well as amongst other things I've seen in the trailer as well. So I'm interested in seeing the film, but I'm going to go ahead and see what the Critical Drinker feels about the film, more so about the film that's about to come soon to theaters, as well as the trailer in about 3, 2, 1.
The times they are a-changin', dear viewer. Out of the original team of Avengers that first joined forces to save the world a decade ago, Iron Man and Black Widow are dead, Captain America's become a Joe Biden lookalike, Hawkeye's an aging and partially deaf mentor with a younger replacement waiting in the wings, and as for Hulk...
Oh man, that had me dead when he said Captain America looks like Joe Biden. And I got put it back on the screensaver.
Black Widow are dead, Captain America...
That's the whole point. They do kind of resemble each other. Goddamn. Who knows? The actor and Joe Biden might be cousins. But yeah, he's right though. He's right though. With this new MCU, Black Widow's dead, and Captain America went back in time to be with Peggy, and
has become a Joe Biden lookalike. Hawkeye's an aging and partially deaf mentor with a younger replacement waiting in the wings. And as for Hulk, fuck knows what's going on with him. Is he still Professor Hulk, or has he turned back into Bruce Banner now? Is there anyone who even cares at this point? Either way, the only Avenger that's still more or less intact is Thor, the Thunder God, the Prince of Asgard, the mightiest Avenger of all, the fat guy who plays video games in his bathrobe and cries and suffers panic attacks. I think it's fair to say that old Thor has had a bit of a rough ride over the years.
Yes,
his first 2 solo movies were dry, stodgy affairs with forgettable antagonists that didn't seem to know what to do with their main character, while Captain America quickly rose to prominence as the new cool kid on the block, and Iron Man somehow managed to stay awesome despite a series of disappointing sequels. Thor remained stuck in the mire, unable to find a winning formula. Then along came a guy from New Zealand named Taika, who successfully turned things around with Thor Ragnarok, injecting some much-needed humour, energy and creativity into a stale series, and setting the stage for him to fulfill his destiny and become the ruler of...
Anyone remember that theme song for Jeff Goldblum's character? It's my birthday, it's my birthday. That's always been my favorite part, when he turned on the music and that theme song comes on. That always kills me. And by the way, when my birthday comes around, especially around 12 o'clock, when I'm out of town, I play that song, and just vibe out to it. Because especially since I'm the big 30, so might as well just play that. But
Guards, or what was left of it anyway.
Yeah.
Now he's back with Thor: Love and Thunder, which could realistically be Chris Hemsworth's last appearance as the character, considering he's been doing this shit for more than 10 years now. And since the first trailer dropped last week, and I haven't had a chance to make a proper video about it, I figured now would be a good time to offer up a few thoughts, or as I like to call them, concerns. So the trailer opens up in much the same way as Thor Ragnarok. Classic rock song playing in the background? Check. I mean, going from Led Zeppelin to Guns N' Roses feels like a bit of a downgrade, but whatever. I do wonder if Sweet Child of Mine could be a bit of a hint about something. Could it be trying to tell us who the real focal point of this story is going to be? Quick montage to set the stage for Thor's current situation? Check. And hey, at least they've gotten rid of Fat Thor from Endgame, thank fuck. Monologue from the man himself? Check. This brings me neatly along to concern number one,
Uh-oh.
Thor himself. The basic gist of the story is that Thor's decided he's had enough of war and battle and turned his back on his former life to go on the greatest adventure of all, the journey of self-discovery. Fucking really? Aren't you like 1,000 years old at this point? I mean, if you haven't managed to figure this shit out by now, then the chances are you're probably never going to. I mean, I know that every film has to take the character in a new direction instead of just recycling.
I see where you're getting at, you know, because he is like up there, way up there, and he's thousands of years old. I mean, and like you mentioned right here, like if you haven't figured it out by now, then yeah, it's gonna be very hard for you to even like go by said self-discovery. But I do remember hinting at that in the trailers, and I was like, okay. I didn't really feel excited or angry. It's like, okay.
Same ideas over and over again, but do you really think this is the way he ought to go, considering everything he's been through up to this point? I mean, if you piece together his previous movies, there was a definite arc to his character. He was growing and maturing as a person, developing the skills and personality traits needed to live up to his legacy and become the ruler of Asgard. Whether it was learning the importance of humility and self-sacrifice, or the responsibility of leadership, or realizing that he didn't need a fucking magical hammer to be powerful, Thor's journey was all about making him a stronger, more capable and mature person, preparing him for the bigger challenges that lay ahead. Now it kind of feels like all that development and progress has been flushed down the shitter, so we can press the reset button and turn him into what the script needs him to be instead of what he actually is now. Instead of learning responsibility, wisdom and resilience, now he's all about giving that stuff up so that he can focus on himself. First he gives up rulership of Asgard and puts it in the hands of some random drunk woman that he barely knows so that he can go joyriding across the galaxy with Star-Lord. Then he gives up that too because apparently it's too hard or something. And now he's even given up his weapons and title. He seems to be regressing instead of developing, surrendering everything that once defined him as a person. And I don't know, man, it all just feels kind of forced and artificial. There's a time for characters to question and doubt who they are and what they're supposed to do with their life, but 10 years and 4 movies down the road isn't it. We already know who Thor is, and so should he. Oh, and speaking of retconning Thor's character, I'm sure you all caught this meaningful little look between him and Star-Lord. I wonder what that could be hinting at. Concern number 2, Valkyrie. I'm gonna be honest here, Valkyrie was one of the most insufferable elements of Thor Ragnarok. Basically, every scene she was in had me fucking grinding my teeth, partly because the character treats Thor like a piece of shit and always seems to have the upper hand on him, partly because she never has to answer for the enormous fuck-ups of her past, and partly because of Tessa Thompson's intolerably smug performance. What's your favourite expression? Smug condescension, smug reflection, or smug boredom? I kinda hoped she would have been a one-and-done kind of character, but nah, here she is again, returning as King Valkyrie, the ruler of New Asgard.
What
I'm not...
the fuck? I don't think I've seen that trailer now, but I think I read somewhere about people referring to Valkyrie as King Valkyrie. That don't go together. Like, it would make more sense if she was Queen Valkyrie, since she's, a woman and all that. Like, why would they give her title of King? Like, that don't make no sense. They don't go together. Like, what the hell? I don't see. There's no point in me asking why the scriptwriters chose to go with this direction, but they want to keep up with the time. We all weird and extra for no reason. And even when it doesn't make sense in certain universe, like King Valkyrie, though, that don't make no sense. And as far as Tessa Thompson, I don't really mind Tessa Thompson. I mean, she cool. I mean, she cool, and I mean, she ain't the best actress out there, but she ain't the worst. You know what I mean? She comes, middle of the road. You know what I mean? Depending on who, because I know I joined her in the Creed film, 2 Creed films. Those are like my favorites, and of course. Didn't really mind her on Thor Ragnarok. Yeah, she did come off as her character Valkyrie did come off as smug and condescending and whatnot, may have you. You know what I mean? So I do agree on that. I do remember seeing that part as well, and it did take away from the enjoyment of Thor Ragnarok, of course. Ragnarok, of course. So, and of course, like she wasn't really a main factor in Endgame, so then we had to worry about her constantly on there. So, hey. I guess we had best of both worlds. Not the best of both worlds, more so, it didn't really take too much time, came and did her role, and, that was it. At least from my perspective.
exactly sure how you can be a king when you're not even a man, but sure, whatever.
that makes
Royal
sense.
titles are flexible, I guess. Just like Tatiana.
Oh.
And once again, she's showcasing her amazing acting range. It almost makes you wonder how she landed a high-profile role like this.
Damn.
Concern number 3, Lady...
Chill. Damn. That dude went there. He went there.
Is again, returning as King Valkyrie, the ruler of New Asgards. I'm not exactly sure how you can be a king when you're not even a man, but sure, whatever. Royal titles are flexible, I guess. Just like Tatiana. And once again, she's showcasing her amazing acting range. It almost makes you wonder how she landed a high-profile role like this. Concern number 3, Lady Thor. Remember Jane Foster, played by Natalie Portperson? Remember how she walked away from the MCU after Thor 2 so that she could focus on other roles? Well, she's back now, and I'm sure it had absolutely nothing to do with the fact that she's 40 years old and hasn't starred in a high-profile film since 2016.
Damn.
This time she's back as Lady Thor, mirroring the failed comic book run where a cancer-stricken Jane Foster takes up the mantle of Thor and uses his hammer even better than he was able to. Because, you know, of course she does. Wait, didn't Mjolnir get destroyed in Thor Ragnarok and then Cap returned a past version to its own timeline at the end of Endgame? Nah, never mind. Now, I have to admit, this storyline could actually have a bit of potential if they have the balls to see it through to its logical conclusion. Like if Jane is severely ill and is forced to give up the possibility of life-saving treatment to take up the hammer and help out Thor at a critical moment, basically sacrificing her life to help the man she loves and going out in a spectacular blaze of glory. And perhaps even helping Thor to realise that he can't just turn his back on the rest of the world because he feels like it, that he has responsibilities far bigger and more important than his own selfish impulses. That would be a pretty good redemption and send-off for a character. But ask yourself the question, dear viewer, do you really think they're going to do that? Or are they going to bring in female Thor as an all-conquering badass that's consistently better and more powerful than actual Thor in pretty much every way, ultimately causing him to realise that she's more worthy of the title than he is, and willingly stepping aside so that she can take over? And perhaps even being connected to King Valkyrie, looking for a queen to sit on the throne with her. You know, I love how royal titles, legendary artifacts, and even godlike status can change hands in this universe more easily than the used porn magazines in my old high school. The problem is that the more this kind of thing happens, well, the more contrived and cheap it all starts to feel. And let's be honest here, it's becoming a bit of a habit for Marvel. Already we've got discount Captain America, discount Black Widow, discount Loki, and discount Hawkeye.
And what the fuck? Hold up. Did they just hold up?
Here, it's becoming a bit of a habit for Marvel. Already we've got discount Captain America, discount Black Widow.
They got another Black Widow? Wow. So when this happened, like, I need to see that series. So they got another Black Widow? That's rather interesting. And I don't know about this one now, like, for real, because it doesn't even look, I don't know, man. I'm kind of iffy about like another actress portraying Black Widow. So I guess that's the title given to any other character, I guess. I'm not sure, but I'm interested in seeing how that performance panned out.
Discount Loki and discount Hawkeye, and that's not even mentioning discount Hulk, discount Iron Man, and discount Captain Marvel that are all on the way too. Jesus, I never thought I'd hold up Captain Marvel as a superior version of a derivative replacement, but there you go. That's Clown World for you. Taking the costume, weapons, and name for one character and grafting it onto another doesn't bring with it all the emotional investment that's been built up over the years. And I guess that's my real issue with Jane Foster here. If she's got the armour, the hammer, and the powers of Thor, then what is she except for a cheap, superficial copy of the original, but with boobs? Also, I know this is a bit of a random aside, but you're never going to convince me that those are Natalie Portperson's real arms. Yeah, I've seen the set pictures where she looks marginally bigger than she did a couple of years ago, where she could barely even lift the plastic prop hammer and looked like a stiff breeze would blow her over, but there's no fucking way that she got this jacked in real life. I suspect what really happened is that she had a bit of help from the wonderful men and women in the CGI department at Marvel. The funny thing is, I actually consider myself a fan of Taika Waititi's work, if not the man himself. Jojo Rabbit and Hunt for the Wilder People were both fantastic movies that showcased his ability to take a serious, poignant central storyline and wrap it up in a veneer of quirky, light-hearted comedy. But this kind of thing is a fine balancing act, and Thor Ragnarok went too far in the wrong direction for me. You don't have to make literally everything into a fucking joke. You're allowed some genuinely serious moments from time to time. But since it made a shit ton of money, there's no reason to expect that they'll correct the balance here. I really want to believe this is going to be a triumphant send-off for two characters that have been around since the earliest days of the MCU, but I can't shake the feeling that the Love and Thunder is just going to end up as a slicker, better-made example of the same shit they tried to pull with Black Widow, swapping out an aging and expensive protagonist and replacing him with a newer and more diverse copy. A male hero doing what male heroes do best these days, stepping aside and making way for someone more deserving but less interesting, with a healthy dose of the message dumped in for good measure. I hope I'm wrong on this one, because if anyone deserves a bit of redemption, it's Thor. But let's be honest, I'm not going to hold my fucking breath. Anyway, that's all I've got for today. Go away now.
Oh, man. Critical Drinker had me dead, man, near the end, because the way he talks about stuff just get me laughing and also thinking, for real, because that's what I love about this video.
You kicked off your study session with a lo-fi playlist.
But yeah, he had a point, though, as far as, the replacements of the established characters, how they don't have the same type of depth as the OG characters, because, the OG characters you kind of been familiar with for the 10 years if you're familiar with the MCU and seeing their journey throughout these different films and films that were paired on together with, say, like the Avengers films as well as Thor Ragnarok and the like. Yeah, it's definitely not going to be the same for certain. You know what I mean? Now, is there potential for them to work? Perhaps. I'm willing to give folks give some of these new MCU characters a chance, but then again, I'm kind of iffy as well, because it's just not the same. Just don't have the same feel. You know what I mean? Same vibes. And I kind of came into the whole series late because I had no idea that they were all connected. But nonetheless, I'm still have to see them for myself and just get past the whole fatigue, because I haven't seen the past ones that came out last year because I just lost interest. You know what I mean? They don't seem that interesting. You know what I mean? So, and I do remember seeing that photo of Natalie Portman holding that hammer. I was like, does it look convincing as this jacked woman? That's going to be the female version of Thor or whatnot. But we'll have to wait to see how it's executed. But even during the trailer, it's like, still doesn't look convincing. You know what I mean? There's plenty of female actresses that could have, more so actresses that could have found to fill that role if needed to. If they really wanted to bring female Thor into the MCU, there's plenty of actresses that could have fit that role, that have the muscles and athletic build instead of Natalie Portman. You know what I mean? So I don't know why they just messed up on that one. And it was kind of disappointing. Yeah, I agree. It was disappointing to see Falcon become another Captain America, because he's his own character, but they kind of made him to another Captain America. It was disappointing to see Falcon become another Captain America, because it was potential of him to be his own character, but they took the easy way route with that and just made another Captain America. Hey, that's just how the cookie crumbles half the time. So I have my concerns about the film as well, but I still will give the film a chance. I might decide to watch it. So if you want to react to more of these videos from Critical Drinker, be sure to hit that like button, hit that notification button, hit that subscribe button. Follow me on my social media accounts, which we posted in the description box below. If you want to react to more, also if you want to react to more this any video, which is songs, music videos, countdowns, movie clips, trailers, analysis vids, be sure to post them in the comment section as well. It's your boy Black G92 about to sign off. Holla at your boy. Peace.